Hi, this is Melody with Crew, and today we're going to be talking about how to build a bridge for gospel conversations. Imagine you're at a cafe or a fast food restaurant surrounded by students. It's crazy and loud, and everyone's trying to get a word in edgewise. You love it because one of your goals has been to create a natural setting for students to feel safe, to be themselves, a place to go deeper. In the back of your mind, you know that God has called you to share the most important relationship these students can ever experience, and you want it to come across as natural as possible. So it comes down to this. On an appointment with a student, how do you go from how's your day to how's your soul? Today, we're going to be giving you some tools to build a bridge, so making the transition to sharing Christ feels like a natural part of your conversation. But before we jump in, here's a couple things to remember. First of all, most students don't talk about Jesus every day, so a degree of surprise will be inevitable. Second, it's worth the risk. Their eternal destiny could be riding on it. Third, the longer you wait to have gospel conversations, the harder it is to bring it up. So use the first opportunity to build a bridge. And finally, stay positive and prayerful. A less than positive first response should not derail your enthusiasm. God is fighting for their hearts. Relax and enjoy your audience. Now you may be asking, what are the tools that can get me into a gospel conversation? Well, we're just going to mention a couple today. The first one is personal testimony. I mentioned this one first because it can be used most naturally. It's your unique story shared briefly to build a context for a conversation about Christ. The second is Solarium cards. It's a pack of 50 vibrant pictures used in survey form to elicit students' responses towards a spiritual thing. The third is the triangle diagram. It's a simple explanation to highlight how people are three-dimensional. We mentioned it in the School Within a School video. And the last one is leading questions, using open-ended gospel starter questions that lead to a conversation towards Christ. Let's take a look at one of these, the personal testimony, and see how it works. Do you remember when I met with Abby and her friends? Well, I've been meeting with these young ladies for a couple weeks now. I'm sensing it's time to turn the corner, to take the hours of relational banter, the hangouts at a sporting event, and the invisible yet richly textured respect that sits between us to begin probing about where they stand spiritually. It's one of the most exciting moments any youth leader can experience. I'll let you eavesdrop. Ladies, we've been meeting for a while now, and I haven't told you yet about the most important relationship in my life. Would you mind if I took a few minutes to tell you about it? I'm going to share my 3-minute testimony, the story of how I began a relationship with God. This does several things. It shows the students how you've been changed, which builds expectation that they can too. They see how Christ has impacted your life. It takes something abstract and makes it concrete and relevant. And finally, it forecasts the message of God's loving initiative, forgiveness, and invitation to relationship. Once I'm finished with my story, it will be natural to ask the group what they thought and if they would like to share theirs. After hearing your story, their interest will be piqued. It may just be the perfect time for you to introduce a simple gospel message. To sum it up, keep in mind this appointment, though it seems direct and to the point, is just another touch point, a relational link in the chain that begins at the first meeting and stretches to discipleship and even on to spiritual leadership. Keep it casual, prayerful, and your eyes focused on these students so they can be one, built, and sent for Christ on their campus. Until next time, this is Melody with Crew High School.